So I've had a lot of people ask, what is matcha and how do I make it? And matcha is green tea, but instead of the regular green tea that you're used to, like the loose leaf that you steep in the water and then you drink the water, you actually drink the whole leaf. So what they do is they grow matcha and they grow it in the shade. So it actually retains way more antioxidants than traditional green tea. So it has about anywhere from 50 to 100 times the amount of the EGCG, cancer-fighting antioxidants that regular green tea does. It also has a lot of L-theanine, which is really calming, lowers your stress, and it has a little bit of caffeine to perk you up, but without the jitteriness of coffee. So it's been a really great switch for me because I used to drink coffee and now I switched to this, full of antioxidants. So you'll see it looks like this. So what they do is they actually grow the green tea in the shade and then they very gently grind it up into a powder, and then you actually mix the powder with water. So I'm gonna show you how to do that today. But it should look vibrant green like that. It almost looks fake. It totally looks fake, but that's actually the natural green color and the good antioxidants. If you get one that's a dull green, it's probably not a good quality, or if you get one that's very light, like a lot of coffee shops, you'll see them very, very light green. That means they're usually mixed with sugar or powdered milk, a lot of stuff that you really don't want to have. So quality is really important. I always go with an organic matcha because you're actually drinking the whole leaf. So you don't want to be drinking that whole leaf that's covered in pesticides. And making sure that it's stored properly, that it's airtight container, something so that you're preserving those antioxidants really well. So to start, I'm using a clear bowl today because you'll see like what I'm using, but traditionally they would use, traditional Japanese culture, they would use a ceramic bowl and a wooden whisk, and that wooden whisk would keep it from scratching the inside of their very expensive ceramic bowl. And I like the wooden whisk, even though I use it inside of like my coffee mug, it really whisks up all the clumps really good. So if you try to use a fork or a regular whisk, it's probably not really gonna work. If you have like a little immersion blender, that might work. But this was only like $10 on Amazon and it was so worth it. So I do about a half of a teaspoon of matcha. And then I got my water ready, and I don't want super hot boiling water because you don't want to scorch it. So, you know, have your water boiling and then let it sit for a few minutes, just so that it's warm enough but not super scorching hot. And then I pour just a tiny bit, just enough to make sure all the powder gets wet, but you don't want a ton because we're going to make it into like a paste so that we get all the clumps out. Whisk it around really good. And it's going to end up looking kind of like a green paint. So just for a minute, you'll see it looks nice and smooth and creamy and delicious. And then you'll add the rest of your water. I like to pour it over my whisk because a lot of the matcha's on there. That you'll want for your tea. If you have a big coffee mug, it would work in a big coffee mug too. Or in a bowl, and then you can pour it into your coffee mug, but you gotta have enough space to whisk it around. And then just give it one last final stir. You can also make it into a latte. I use a little bit of vanilla soy milk to make a latte instead of doing the extra water at the end. You could just do like a warm milk or soy milk with a little bit of cinnamon. And there's your tea. That's how it's done. So make sure you find one that is a good quality. Enjoy your matcha. Live it, love it.